Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to set up NoExes on your Nintendo Switch. So if you're planning on setting this up, I'm assuming you're slightly more of a technical user, so I'm not going to be going into quite as much detail on each of these steps. So just to get right into it, I'm going to have this zip file linked in the video description. This is one that I've put together that has all of the stuff you will need to run NoExes properly. And then once you've got that downloaded, you can just extract it and you'll see all these files in here. So we're just going to copy the atmosphere folder straight to our Switch's micro SD card. I already have it, so it's just telling me to merge them. And this is going to get NoExes running as a sys module on the Switch. So once you've got that, that is actually all the SD card setup that you need, so you can just eject this and put it back into your Switch now. Alright, so then once you've got that all put onto your SD card, then you're going to need to install the Java 10 JDK. The reason I've included this in the zip file instead of just giving you a direct link to it is because you need an account to download this on the Java website, and it's this whole big process, so I've just included it in this zip file so you don't need to wait around for that. But if you're planning on running this on Linux, then you're going to have to go to the actual Java website and find the Java 10 JDK. So then once you've got that installed, you should be able to run this Java JAR file. So just so you don't have to use a command line every time, I've just created this batch file that's just going to do Java -jar and then the client.jar. So let's just run this, and this is going to load us into NoExes. So now that we've got this running on our PC, I'm just going to go onto my Switch and load up into Atmosphere right now. Alright, so I'm back on my Switch and I'm loaded into Atmosphere right now. So what we're going to do to significantly improve the performance of NoExes is we're going to set up a mobile hotspot on Windows 10. So I'm just going to go to my internet settings and I'm just going to sit on this page for a little while and I'm going to go back on my PC. So to set up a Windows 10 mobile hotspot, you're just going to click down here and you're going to enable the mobile hotspot setting down here. And to configure it, you're going to go to the settings. And from here, you can either set up the password, you can set up it if it's a 5G or a 2.4G signal, and pretty much any configuring that you'll need to do will be done from this window. So now on my Switch, I'm just going to connect to this. Alright, so it looks like it's showing up and I'm going to try connecting to it now. And it looks like it's successful. So I don't know if you guys can see this since my capture card may or may not be hiding it, but the IP address of my Switch is now showing up on the settings page right here. So I'm just going to copy this and I'm just going to paste it into NoExes over here, the Java window. So again, this is my Switch's IP address that is from the mobile hotspot page on Windows 10. So now that I'm all connected, it's not necessarily going to improve my connection speed at all. I'm probably actually going to have a much worse connection speed now, but it's going to be a much stronger signal overall, so we're going to be able to send the dumps a lot faster. So now we're all ready to start up the game that we want to hack in. So I'm just going to do Minecraft since I can't play any Nintendo games since they'll strike this video down. So while you're on top of the game that you want to load, you have to hold down the L button on your controller. So like I said, I'm just holding down L and I'm launching the game right now. So now in this Java window over here, we can connect to NoExes right now, or we can just wait a little bit. I like to just wait till the game actually loads just to make sure, everything is good with it. So I'm just going to create a new world in here. I don't even know what I'm going to search for, but we'll do something simple just for this video. It's creating the world, and once I get inside of this, I'm going to connect. But like I said, you could probably connect right now and you'd be completely fine too. Alright, so I've just loaded into the game. And I think I might actually just overclock my Switch since this game runs pretty bad. So let me just do that real quick. I'm just going to overclock this all the way to the max, because I really don't want to deal with any of these loading times right now. Yeah, much better performance. Okay, so now that I'm loaded inside my map, we can just press the connect button over here and this will connect us to our Switch. And then once you're connected, you can go over to the refresh PIDs button, and then from here you can select the game's process. It's usually just going to be the last one down here, but you can verify it by checking the title ID. And as you can see, all of these are just different things running on my system. And this is the actual game, so this is one we want to connect to. So I'm going to click Attach to Process, and then this will attach us to the process. So right now my game is actually paused. I cannot move it right now. So to auto-resume the game, you can just press this, and now we can actually play it. But if we want at any time, we can just pause the game but I have to undo that. There we go. So now I can just pause the game, resume the game whenever I want. No problems there. So now over on here is where we will see all of the different memory regions for the game. So a lot of them are heap. Heap is where most of the game data will be if you're going to be searching for stuff in memory. So that's probably what I'm going to do in this video. I'm just going to be showing you some of the features that NoExes has to offer. Not all of them, like the pointer searcher, I'm definitely not going to go into this video. Disassembler, that doesn't even work, so I can't show you that. But I'll show you the watch list, memory viewer, pointer searcher, and all that other stuff. So if we go over to the search tab, this is what the search tab looks like in NoExes. So here is where we can define where it's going to search for. You can do heap, or you can do a range, and you can also select memory regions from over here. So this is where the heap starts out. So if I right click on this, you have search start and end, search start, search end. So pretty much pressing any of these will throw the starting address into, any field that you clicked on. So I'm going to do search start to make the heap bounds at the beginning of the search. And I'm going to also scroll all the way to the end of the heap region. And I'm going to set this as the ending bounds. So here it is. Let's do search end. And just to make sure this is not a ridiculous amount of data, it doesn't look like it is from the range. But if you just want to make sure it's not a whole bunch of data that's just white space and stuff, you can just copy the ending address, throw it into calculator. Let's see. Go to hex, do that, minus the starting address. And so this is the link that it's going to be searching for, which is not a whole lot. This is probably going to be about 3 gigabytes or so of data. So I'm just going to close out of that. And like I said, these are pretty good bounds, so let's find something now. Also, let me just say, this Minecraft overclock on the Switch is actually amazing. This is running so much better than it was. And I've been playing this game a little bit on the Switch, and there is so much loading issues like this kind of stuff, except it's 10 times worse when you're not overclocked. So yeah, this is definitely something that you want to do if you're playing this game on the Switch. So let's actually just search for coordinates, since that's something pretty simple and I already made a video on that. Just so I know which direction I'm heading, I'm just going to select this show coordinates button. So now I know which direction I'm heading. So this is my x-axis. It looks like I'm going up on my x-axis. Now I'm going down, up. So yeah, let's just search for the x-axis. So right now I'm in an unknown position. These positions that you see on the screen right now are not actually what's going to be held in memory for our coordinate data. It's most likely going to be a float. So on NoExes, we can do search condition, and let's change this to unknown. And now it grays out all this stuff since none of that matters. So we can just click the search button. If you want to make sure that your memory stays the same and does not allow you to move around and stuff, all this while you're searching, uncheck the auto resume button. And now once you click the search button, your game is going to pause. So I'm just going to click the search button now, and it's going to start the search. I also cannot move around on the Switch anymore. And yeah, so it's downloading at about 8 megabytes per second right now. In certain games, it can get up to 20 for me at some times, but it does vary quite a bit. I don't know what it is with this program, but the speeds change all the time. And that's why I recommended connecting to the mobile hotspot, because this will significantly improve the speeds. If I were to just run NoExes on my normal router without doing this mobile hotspot, I would be getting about 1 to 2 megabytes per second right now. And once you get farther into the search where there is less empty data, then it's going to be even slower. But right now, as you can see, it's probably in a region with a whole bunch of zeros right now, because it's dumping at about 30 megabytes per second. Alright, so it just finished dumping, and it actually did not take very long. I didn't even have to stop the recording while it was dumping. So on my Switch, I still cannot move around because I didn't resume the game yet. So if I press resume, I'm able to move around again, and it just freezes again sometimes. So that's why I recommend having auto resume enabled. Communication error, that's interesting, okay. Yeah, that's probably just something that happens when you search in this game. Like I said, I've never actually searched for stuff in this game. My X position is now greater than it was before, so if we go to a previous search and then do a greater than search, This is going to show you the condition that's going to be searching for. And NoExes actually does have a few different things you can do. You can do different by, and it tells you again what it's going to be searching for. The absolute value of the current value minus the previous value has to be greater than a certain value that you enter in this box up here. You can also do known, so it's going to be current value is greater than, equal to, whatever to this value right here. You can also do previous, and this is what I just showed you. You can compare it to the previous value, which is most likely what you're going to want to do if you're doing an unknown search. So like I mentioned, our X value got bigger, so we would search for greater than if we wanted to find that address. So again, I'm still able to move around and stuff, so I'm just going to uncheck this auto resume, and we can do a search for a greater than value now. So this is going to take even longer than it did before, because instead of just dumping the data, it's actually going to validate it and compare it against the previous search. And I'm going to show you something interesting inside of Task Manager once it starts doing that. So I'm just going to have Task Manager open down here in the meantime, just so you got something else to look at. By the way, I just realized you guys couldn't even see these dumping speeds down here, so I just fixed that. I made the game a little bit smaller. We're not really doing anything interesting on the game, so we don't really need that to be the focus of this. The focus of this video is just going to be the NoExes program right here. Okay, so it's finishing up dumping, and it just started refining the results. Right now it's actually going at a reasonable speed, but NoExes only uses one core to refine the results, so this is taking a lot longer than it should. There's no reason it should be running this slow right now, but it's just the optimization of this program. They made it so it only runs on one core, and it just constantly gets reassigned all the time. But yeah, sometimes I would be sitting here for like a couple hours waiting for this to refine, and it looks like it just started going a lot slower than it was before, so this is probably the speeds that we're going to be sticking with for the rest of this time. So I'm probably going to have to stop the recording right now and come back to you in a little bit, since it's going to take a long time. NoExes is not fast at refining the results. But yeah, so I'll get back to you when this is done. While this is refining the results, I figured I'd just give you a little bit more of an in-depth tutorial on this. So if we go inside of the NoExes folder, and then we go inside of the TMP folder that it creates, inside of here is where all of the data dump files are going to be. So right now the main file is not here, since I believe it's doing something with it, but usually there would be about a 3 GB file if you just did an unknown search. And that is essentially just a complete data dump. And you can use a tool like NoExes dump parser to be able to convert the file offsets into real in-game offsets. So yeah, just a good thing to know that the dump files are going to be in here. Yeah, something else I should mention is that these ETA times are extremely inaccurate. It would be more accurate just to multiply this number by 3 and then display it than it is to just display it how it is now. But it's been going at the same rate for the past few minutes, and somehow it hasn't caught up that it's not accurate yet. As you can see, it's going down by 1 second at a time, but it's going like 3 seconds while it's progressing 1 second on the ETA. Alright, so NoExes is just about to be done refining the results after quite a while. On second thought, it probably would have been faster. Instead of just doing an unknown search as the initial condition, it would have been faster to just do a known search and just do like greater than 3F80 or something. Because that would mean that it's a float value greater than 1.0, which is pretty much what we want. And that would have eliminated a lot of this searching time on the second search. So that's just a quick tip for you. If you know something is going to be a float value, but you're searching for an unknown value, you should probably do a known search and then do like greater than 3F80, less than, if it could be negative, do less than something like this, like D000, whatever. You get the point. So you want to try and refine as few results as possible, since NoExes does only use one single core to do that, which is not very efficient at all. But luckily we got done with that, so I'm just going to resume the game, and here we go, we can play the game again. So I got to make sure I change this back before I mess anything up. So if I move backwards now, then my X value is going to be getting smaller, so I can do a previous search and I can do less than. So I'm just going to do this now. Of course I have to undo auto resume first just to make sure, you know, the game freezes and stuff. So let's do that. And I'll wait for this to get done. Shouldn't take quite as long as before, since there's only 357 megabytes to do. Alright, so it just got done dumping it, and it refined it real quick too, which is pretty good. So let's resume this, and we have quite a few less results than before. So as you can tell by looking at these values, most of them are not even float values at all. So I think what I'm going to do is just do what I said that first time. I'm just going to search for a float value. So pretty much we're going to do a known search. We're going to do greater than, and we're going to do greater than, let's do this is 2.0. I know it's probably going to be somewhere near 436 in float because that's what my X position is, so we could calculate that and find a value close to that, but just to search for any float value at all greater than 2.0, this is what we're going to do. So let's just do that real quick, and this is going to eliminate a whole bunch of these results. Yeah, as you can see, I'm scrolling down. Most of these are not even float values at all. I don't even think I've seen any so far. Alright, so it just got done refining that. And if you're looking at these, a lot of these are not even float values either. I don't even see any float values on here. So yeah, what we're going to do now is do a known search, and we're going to do less than. And since my position is positive, I'm not going to include negative values. So I'm going to do less than 5000. Because all positive float values are going to be smaller than this number right here. So let's just do a search, and hopefully it should eliminate a lot of these results right here. Alright, so I just got done doing that, and we have quite a few less results now. So I'm going to unpause the game, and let's move smaller on the x-axis. And let's do a previous search for less than now. So this is going to search for a value that is less than the previous value. It doesn't matter that we just entered a known value previously. NoExes is much better at the search conditions than Edison or SXOS is. So we have even less results now. Let's repeat that. We're going to keep getting smaller, and let's search for less than again. And I think coming up now in a couple searches, I'm just going to do an equal to search, and this might get rid of a lot of the results that are changing as well. Yep, I should be good now to do less than search. So I'm going to stop resuming the game, or stop resuming it, and search for less than. And immediately after this search is done, I'm going to do a search for equal to. I can resume the game a little bit, and this should be good now. I did not move at all, and my Joy-Con should not be drifting theoretically. So let's do that again. And this should eliminate a lot of the results. Yeah, we're down pretty low now, which is good. So we can resume the game. Let's do a search for greater than. And I'm going to have to use some more night vision potion again so we can actually see what's going on. Alright guys, so I'm back. My Switch just crashed, and I've been here for quite a while trying to refine the address. But for some reason I did the same search method, and now I cannot find an address that actually will, move me when I poke it. So I'm not sure what's going on here. I can probably figure this out if I just gave it a little bit more time, but I really don't want to do that just for this video. But yeah, for the most part, you saw how I found the address. It would be as simple as just doing that and not crashing your game, and then you would have an address. But let's take a quick look at the memory viewer, since this is a feature we haven't really looked at yet. So if you saw over here, this is the address, ends in a C. So that means it's going to end over here or it's going to start over here in the memory viewer. So when I move, you can see this moves with it. When I stop moving, this stops moving with it. That's because this address here is just one of the many addresses out of all of these that happens to hold my coordinates. But this address is read-only. If you try to write to it, nothing will happen. So that's why this address is not very useful, but it is just showing off the memory viewer feature. So if you want, you can poke this address too. You just need to turn off auto refresh. So if you try to poke this with something else, you can do that too, no problem. Yeah, so poking works in NoExes. You can switch the endianness as well. This is going to be little endian, which is default. You can make it big endian, which is what most people would want. And yeah, that is pretty much just what the memory viewer can do. I showed you a little bit about the watch list. Yeah, this is from before. This is not even the same address space as what we're on now. So yeah, this one is not a new one. And then like I said, the disassembler just doesn't even work at all. And the pointer search will sometimes work depending on how you treat it. But yeah, so I think for the most part, that's all I have to show you guys in NoExes. So yeah, there is quite a few things you can do inside of NoExes, and it is a decent tool to use if you want to find memory addresses on the Switch. It certainly could be a lot better, but it's what we have now, so we just have to live with that. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. Leave any suggestions for videos you want to see, especially ones involving NoExes. I would definitely like to make some more tutorials on this now that I've got this one out of the way. And once again, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe for more videos like this in the future, and I'll see you next time. Bye.